Looking at the image of a father letting his child sleep on his lap during the university entrance exam day. Is this excessive love? On the day of the exam, the father took his child to school at 7 a.m. As the child entered the exam room, the father stood outside anxiously, his heart pounding. At 11 a.m., when the child came out, the father brought out a lunchbox, urging the child to eat quickly and then fanning them to sleep, showing boundless love. At 1:30 p.m., the child went back in to continue the exam. Do you think this child is more likely to pass or fail? Many people believe the chances of failing are higher, and there is a reason for this. When we place excessive expectations on our children, they often experience immense pressure. We need to have fewer expectations, not too many. High expectations can burden children. We can see this in the heartbreaking case of the 10th grade student who committed suicide half a year ago at Nguyen Nguyen School. They were under pressure from their family. The family expected them to excel, and when they didn't perform well and were criticized, they chose to end their life. So, does the father in the story above truly understand his child's psychology even though he loves them? It's similar to when a wife places expectations on her husband, comparing him to other men. Other men can do this. Why can't you? This creates a similar feeling of resentment. Such comparisons are unhealthy. We shouldn't compare our children to other children, nor should we compare our husbands to other men. Once you've made a choice, accept your decision. In education, are students who have excelled for 12 years more likely to pass the university entrance exam? We need to clearly distinguish. Are they all around excellent or just good at 3 subjects? Meanwhile, the university entrance exam usually only requires proficiency in 3 subjects. Through observation, we see that those who are all around excellent are often less likely to pass the university entrance exam than those who excel in just 3 subjects. In the world, it is rare to find someone who excels in everything throughout their life. Einstein, Mother Teresa, Edison, they were all only good at a few specific areas. It takes thousands of years to produce a Leonardo da Vinci, someone who excels in all fields from music, painting, invention, military science, to literature and poetry. Most of us should understand, like scientists, that being good at 2 or 3 subjects is already excellent. That's why the university entrance exam usually only requires 3 subjects, not all 12. I have a sister who was excellent in all 12 subjects, but always failed the university entrance exam, while I was only good at 3 subjects. So I passed every time, even topping the list. My sister was the one my father had high hopes for, the one he drove to the exam, while I wasn't. My father didn't even know which school I was applying to. As a result, I was accepted into all 3 schools. From this, we see that a parent's love, when placing excessive expectations on a child, can do more harm than good. Love without true understanding is dangerous. When parents are too attentive to their children, it increases external forces while decreasing internal strength, making their lives dependent on their parents. The child's inner strength will weaken. Therefore, helping children too much is sometimes actually harming them. Helping children too much actually weakens their inner strength, while not helping them can make their inner strength develop more strongly. Therefore, we need to distinguish between situations where we should support them and situations where we should restrain ourselves to help children strengthen their own inner strength. Ideally, we should only help children occasionally. The rebellious teen phenomenon in today's youth is a prime example of living dependently on external forces. Thousands of teenagers stand waiting at the airport whenever a famous Korean actor comes to Vietnam. They line up on both sides of the road waiting for their idols to pass by. Just touching their idol's hand is enough for these young people to cover their faces and cry with happiness. "I've only ever seen you on Facebook. Now I'm seeing you in person. I'm so happy." This is a manifestation of living with more external force than internal strength. Money is also a form of external force. When a father goes out to earn money and brings it back for his child to spend, and the child spends all day thinking about how to spend the money, then the child is living by external force, not internal strength. In this situation, can the child truly mature? The answer is no, because without inner strength, true maturity is impossible. Many parents have the wrong idea when they work hard for 40 years of their lives, thinking the father eats salty so the child will be thirsty, saving up for their children. This actually places an external force on the child from the outside, forgetting that helping the child develop inner strength is the core element. When you have inner strength, even without money, your child will know how to earn money themselves. The BE ability is inner strength. While giving your child a mountain of money, a villa, or a bank account worth tens of billions is just the have assets. The BE is always more important than the have. The BE is the cause. The have is the effect. In terms of expressing individuality, girls who wear many earrings and heavy makeup are actually expressing external force, not internal strength. You may notice that people who wear a lot of makeup are often those with weak inner strength. Conversely, people who live simply and wear little makeup are often those with strong inner strength. This is also reflected in how billionaires behave. Many foreign billionaires use the same car for 20 years without replacing it, living in a 200 square meter apartment for 20 years without changing it. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, when people become billionaires, they immediately replace their car with a luxury one, even replacing several in a year. The reason is because their BE, their inner strength, is still weak. So when they have a lot of money, they spend it wastefully. Therefore, girls who express their individuality flamboyantly on the outside are actually living with a lot of dependence on external forces. On the wedding day, there are two important pieces of jewelry that parents give to the new couple: the ring and the earrings. Interestingly, earrings are not simply a piece of jewelry like danglers used for entertainment or beauty, but also carry a deeper meaning. In Vietnamese, earrings are written as Cuyen Tai, meaning the ear to listen to advice. This tradition differs between men and women. Women usually wear earrings, while men are specially exempted from wearing them. The humorous reason is that men already have to listen to advice from their wives a lot, while wives often don't listen to their husbands, so they have to wear earrings to remind themselves to listen. Therefore, we should understand that the ear is for listening to advice, and those who have had their ears pierced since childhood probably need to practice listening more than others. In modern times, as women increasingly assert their position, we see more and more men starting to wear earrings. Even so, the core meaning of earrings remains unchanged. It is a symbol of knowing how to listen to advice. The second piece of jewelry that both men and women must wear is the wedding ring. The word ring in Vietnamese has a very clear literal meaning. It is patience, endurance, and forbearance. When getting married, both people must learn to be patient. Whoever has the virtues of patience, endurance, and forbearance will be able to maintain a lasting marriage until old age. Therefore, whenever a husband and wife argue, look at the ring and remind yourself, be patient, be patient. This will help resolve conflicts. In a person's pillar of willpower, there are two important elements. First, courage, and second, persistence. The ring we wear is the symbol of this persistence. When people are in love and decide to get married, it is called courage. Daring to marry without fully understanding each other is not recklessness, but courage. The wedding day is truly the day you courageously step into a journey with an unknown future, as if you were getting on a boat together without knowing where it will go. Marriage is not the end point, but just the starting point of a common journey. Daring to marry shows courage, while daring to grit your teeth and live together until old age is persistence. This once again illustrates the contrast between inner strength and external force. Wearing a lot of jewelry shows dependence on external force. People who wear a lot of makeup are often those with weak inner selves, while people with strong inner selves often don't need elaborate makeup. This is a profound perspective on the relationship between outward appearance and inner essence in each person. When observing masters, sages, or reclusive hermits in the deep forest, we see that they don't wear any makeup. Between men and women, men tend to have stronger inner strength than women, so they wear less makeup. However, nowadays men are also starting to wear a lot of makeup. In particular, Korean movies are having a negative impact on the younger generation. If Korean movies affect women to some extent, they affect men 3 times as much, turning many men into being more effeminate. The male leads in Korean movies often have faces very similar to girls, wearing powder, lipstick, and long hair, making it difficult to distinguish them from women. They lack the strong qualities that are characteristic of men. In fact, I prefer violent American movies because at least the main characters in those movies still retain their masculinity. Look at the image of the rather chubby mother feeding her child on the motorbike seat in front of the school gate. Behind them are many other children also being fed. What time of day is this scene taking place? 7 a.m. or 5 p.m.? Those who say it's in the morning have poor observation, analysis, and summarizing skills because children usually eat at home in the morning, not in front of the school. Just seeing the scene of eating outside, we can deduce that it is already the afternoon. Moreover, the child is wearing a helmet and sitting on the motorbike seat. So, why feed the child at 5 p.m.? It's because of achievement disease, forcing the child to go to extra classes. Who is the one demanding that the child go to extra classes? Usually, it's the mother more than the father. The father is usually more easygoing. It's okay if my child doesn't study well because they're like me, it's fine. But the mother is different. No, my child must be better than you. When the child doesn't study well, the mother may blame them. I don't know who you got your stupidity from in this family. In this image, the mother gives the child each bowl of rice to eat. Does this make the child depend on external forces or spark inner strength? Clearly, it's an external force, and when there is more external force, there is less inner strength. Will this child easily become a person when they grow up? Will they be easily independent? Will they be easily confident? No, because their BE, ability, is not fully formed. One notable point is that the mother in the picture is quite fat, and she is also feeding her child until they are fat like her. This is an important principle. Whatever BE you have, you can only give that to your child. You must be a moral person to be able to teach morality to your child. You must be a knowledgeable person to be able to convey knowledge to your child. You must be a person with willpower to be able to give willpower to your child. That is, whatever BE you have, you can only give it to others. If you are an immoral person but try to teach your child about morality, it will be difficult to succeed. The fat mother in the picture will only give her child the ability to become fat. From that, the child's inner strength gradually disappears. Is beauty an inner strength or an external force? It's an external force. Beauty fades with the years. while inner strength forms and grows stronger over time. Another image. A student as big as an elephant sits on the motorbike seat and the mother pushes the bike. Is this loving the child? In this case, how should you handle it? One way is to make the child get off the bike and make them push it themselves. A more gangster way is to let the child skip school that day, take a bath in the rain, and then go home, turn on the TV to watch or buy books to read. Then ask the child to summarize the content of the movie for the mother to listen to. That way, mom skips work, child skips school. This is truly a tough way to build inner strength for the child. If you say to your child, "Go home, skip school today," but then you still go to work, that's a failed strategy. When you tell your child to skip school, you must also be prepared to skip work to set an example. You need to show your gangster side along with your child. This is not something to laugh at, but is actually a secret to educating children in their teens. The teenage years are rebellious years. When children rebel, you have to prove that you are even tougher than them, and they won't dare to rebel. If you appear gentler and weaker than your child, they will rebel against the whole family. You can verify this in reality. Have you ever wondered why, when a child is in their rebellious phase, they often listen to their father more easily than their mother? And why does your child rebel at home, but when they go to school and meet other tough kids, they are well behaved? Have you noticed this? A 15-year-old child may be disruptive at home, but when they go to the end of the street and meet the tough kids, they are as quiet as a mouse. This shows that children only rebel against those who they feel are inferior to them. Towards those who they feel are superior, stronger, more authoritative, they will be extremely well behaved. Understanding this, to make your child well behaved, you must show that you are even more rebellious, more tough than them. If the child wants to show that they are tough, you must prove that you are even tougher. That's why in middle and high school, when a female teacher speaks, children often have a hard time listening, but when a male teacher speaks, they listen more easily. In particular, male teachers who have a slightly gangster quality are more likely to be respected and followed by students. Conversely, male teachers who appear weak and indecisive will have a harder time being listened to by students.